As of Friday, April 11, 2025, Dow Jones Industrial Average, DJIA, futures are experiencing volatility amid escalating U.S. China trade tensions and rising Treasury yields. Barron's current futures data, E-mini Dow futures, YM equals F trading at 39,560.00, down 237.00 points, minus 0.60%, as of 5:03 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Market context: on Thursday, U.S. stock futures declined following significant losses across major market indexes. This downturn came after the White House revised its earlier statement, revealing that tariffs imposed on China during President Trump's second term total 145%, instead of the previously indicated 125%. Wall Street Journal. In response, China has raised tariffs on U.S. goods from 84% to 125%, exacerbating global market uncertainty. The Guardian. Investors are closely monitoring upcoming economic indicators, including the March Producer Price Index, PPI, report and earnings from major banks like J.P. Morgan and Wells Fargo, for insights into inflation trends and the economic outlook. Investors Business Daily. Key takeaway: the DJIA futures are under pressure due to heightened trade tensions and economic uncertainty. Investors should stay informed on policy developments and economic reports that could influence market dynamics. Stock futures are flat as traders digest latest tariff-related developments. Live updates. Stock futures were little changed Friday as traders weighed the latest developments on the tariff front and tried to end a week of wild market swings on a high note. Futures tied to the Dow Jones Industrial Average traded near the flat line. S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100 futures added around 0.1% each. Tariff fears remain at the forefront of investors' minds after President Donald Trump temporarily slashed his country-specific duties to a universal rate of 10%, except for China. Goods from Beijing will see a rate of 145%, a White House official confirmed to CNBC. Stock futures initially dropped on China's move. However, they recovered after the European Union said its trade representative was flying to Washington on Sunday to try and sign deals. Wall Street is coming off a losing session. The S&P 500 fell 3.46% on Thursday, while the 30-stock Dow tumbled 1,014.79 points, or 2.5%. The tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite ended the day lower by 4.31%. Thursday's declines wiped a chunk of the gains the major averages saw on Wednesday after Trump announced a 90-day reprieve on some of his high reciprocal tariffs. On Wednesday, the S&P 500 surged 9.52% for its third-largest gain in a single day since World War II, and the 30-stock Dow skyrocketed more than 2,900 points. Stocks resumed their losing ways on Thursday as traders went into risk-off mode, with trade policy uncertainty weighing on sentiment. The lower tariff level is still a huge problem, and deadlines 3 months out offer no certainty for consumers, business, and investors, said Jed Ellerbrook, portfolio manager at Argent Capital Management. This set of policies will leave the U.S. with higher inflation, lower economic growth, and a frustrated stock market. Here are the U.S. tariffs currently in place: 145% duty on all goods from China. 25% tariffs targeting aluminum, autos, and goods from Canada and Mexico not under the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement. 10% levy on all other imports. Despite the tumultuous week, the three major averages are on pace for solid gains in the period. The S&P 500 is on pace for a 3.8% advance, its best weekly performance since November. The Nasdaq is on track to gain 5.1%. The Dow is on pace for a 3.3% jump week to date. To be sure, the major averages remained sharply lower since April 2, when the White House announced so-called reciprocal tariffs on goods from other countries. Since then, the S&P 500 is down 7.1%.